Good afternoon, evening. Dude, my bed being unmade looks so bad. I'm immediately gonna leave this so you guys can't see it as clearly. Dude, the reason my bed looks unmade because every night I take my stuff, go into the theater room, sleep, and then wake up in the middle of the night, come back to my main room with all my stuff, and then sleep. It's too hot, man. I'm fucking dying. Well, welcome to the stream, guys. I'm playing some TFT today. I haven't played in a while. I actually haven't played in 10 days. I got a warning that I was going to demote. My AC still out? Yeah. Temperature in LA, I think it's 90 degrees. 98 degrees. Sorry. Yeah. Key demote TFT. I mean, I'm like master 2 LP, so like realistically, I can't demote, but like, yeah. Are you excited to get wrecked by RE2 at stage 4? Dude, I don't even know what's good or bad. I know they buffed Ari a lot. I see people playing Zeri and Aphelios now. Looks pretty good. But I haven't really seen much. Really bad patch. I heard people like this patch. Like from a balance standpoint, I heard this patch is pretty good. I'm not sure if it's pretty fun, but I've heard it's pretty good. Hey, Leno, welcome back for 11 months. Thanks for subbing. Medium N is a high roll silver augment. Wait, is medium N still three things or is it less? Oh, we got Yordle portals. This is fine. All of these are gold augments, which means people are hitting 8, 9 pretty darn fast. Never played TFT before. Do I need anything to know about League to play TFT? Nope. They will, like, you'll see characters do cool things similarly, but you don't need anything. That's ass. Oh, it's way better than last set. Like, just straight up.
So strange. We scream.
Did they buff Ori? Is she good now? Oh, yeah. Now it's her auto that does that. Actually, okay, cool. I probably need to pick these up. I like this. I like this. I'm kind of in a weird spot. What if I don't pick it up? Dragons, red augments? Oh, man.
Keep your enemies close, and me close.
Jack and the Beanstalk. Well, thanks for sub over the stream.
Keep your enemies close, and me closer.
This is very exciting. 'Cause I don't care. 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 'Cause I don't care.
two 2-stars, pretty good. Let's roll this. Let's roll this. Is Galio good? Shit. Wait, so this unit's kind of good now, right? You got 2 gold. Oh, I guess I have 40% chance. That's reasonable. That's not super unreasonable.
Close and me closer.
Okay, so what do I play with this? I'm level 6, hard level 6. I just play 4 invokers? Reroll Karma? I can reroll like all the invokers, I guess. Yeah, yes, here are 2 Warmogs. I don't know. What does he do? Oh, it's equal to his max health? Oh my god. And yeah, Warmogs for sure.
I will restore Freljord's greatness. Keep your enemies close and me closer.
Okay, but what about Cassio 3? Is she that bad? No way, right? That's a big ratio. Oh yeah, you probably throw both him. Yeah, there's like 2 open forters pretty much, so I'm gonna win at some point. It's alright.
Always rises to the top.
Wait. Never mind.
I love Demacia. It's the only place I've been.
Wait. At Karma. Okay, do I just sell these? Who really cares about Snake 2, you know? I'm selling this. Carlos Baron's Raka, not. I don't think not when I have this. Did this sound on my keyboard? Yeah, it's really nice. hope I hit this guy. Not this guy. Oh, this guy seems really hard to beat with this. Maybe it's this though. I mean, I'm glad you can play Wins a War because Invokers are better now, right? Wait, I 3 streaked. Holy fuck. Okay. Wait, I'm 92 HP. It's 40 gold. Oh my god. Wait, I'm in such a good spot. The value of Soraka is really high.
You always fight to win.
I eventually replaced this with Rise, but I don't know if I'm even going to be able to get the Rise from this position. That'd be a little hard. Lit. It is lit. Okay. If I level, I don't really get much. Getting extra castle here doesn't really think. Like, I don't even think I maintain streak on level if I can't win with this board. Oh, it's first place? This is so bad. This is the one guy I don't want to play against. Because this unit is so good at killing one like, single tanks. The combat augment owned. Oh, I mean, he hit Callista too. It's fine. This is actually so good for this comp. Hold up, let me think. This is good too. Oh shit, wait, I don't think it crits this, but I mean, it's just so good with everything else.
I love Demacia. It's the only place I've been.
Wow, so they automatically get everyone gets 70% crit chance. Isn't that nuts? Yeah, I feel like for this comp, like, augment is really good. We're just staying 6 for a little bit, and then we'll probably hold on to a Tarek. Oh, this is probably better than the other Casio. I said roll for Rise.
Every step, a new journey.
Probably do this for now. Wait, my... Don't I keep rolling here? I will just down one more roll. Yeah, like my board looks so good. I have so many upgrades that I don't think I should stop rolling. Two failure isn't super great, but it's something. It sucks because I put in target here, right? But it's kind of hard. What's 8% of his max health? I can't do math. Oh, this Shen. Join your Japan vlog. Hope more vlogs are coming. I mean, I got another vlog afterwards, but yeah. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Come on, what I get? Man.
I love Demacia. It's the only place I've been.
So wait, hold on. Let me think how much damage. Yeah, what's 8? Okay, what is 8% of his max health? Four, five, six. I feel like that's a lot. How much damage did he just do there? 3,000. Holy fuck. That seems pretty good. I think I don't think I can do another Warmogs. I think I either have to go. It's more likely I just go Gargoyle for the best stuff here. That's super good.
Every step, a new journey.
Wow, this guy's board is so good. JG, Rageblade, Challenger Spat, Juggernaut Spat. Okay. His board looks fucking good. Who? Oh. Aphelios too. Oh. Wow. Will you ever take Protector's Vow? Maybe so you cast immediately. Actually has good, interesting value. I might.
I may be merciful, but Targon isn't.
You always fight so poorly.
Oh
Now,
shit.
as Ionia changes, so must I. Every step, a new journey. Every step, a new journey.
Wow, my items are not very good. I guess I'll wait one round to see what augment I get before I go crazy here. See Project L video? Yeah, I mean, you could pretty much assume that I see stuff like that immediately. Wow. This board is kind of insane. Times increase the size? Nope. His thing doesn't scale based on size. I don't think so. Does this work for augments? Because it says damage deal. I don't know. Ooh, what is this? Isn't this bad for me? Yeah, I'm down to take this. Someone said it was good in my chat.
But Targon isn't.
As I only change, so must
I need a Shen anyways. This guy.
I love Demacia. It's the only place I've been.
What point do I dig? Probably next round. I'm all in. Welcome on board, bro. Okay. I'm looking at your. Okay. Probably have to put this here, right? And I go Gargoyle next. Or Knights. Knights is really interesting. Now that someone brought it up. Is there damn, I was thinking about taking it just for the unit, man. Honestly, maybe it is Knights. Real talk, being able to get damage out early is really good for comps. And sometimes, I've been seeing how some of the fights start. They look kind of sus. But not ulti immediately. I mean, I'll give it a shot.
I will restore Freljord's greatness.
No way, I actually hit fucking...
Because I've got a world to save.
Now we prove our courage. As Ionia changes, so must I.
The shadows.
What is the rise thing? Oh, my units are summoned to the bench. Oh. That's not a great one. I wish I got... Well, it's okay, I think. Hold on, I need to sell this unit, please. Please? Thank you.
I love
Please.
Demacia.
Thank you.
It's the only place I've been.
Before... Maybe I should have Rage Blade Soraka before, I think, but it's hard to say. Dude, I always have him mispositioned by like one square. It doesn't hit this unit here. right? This guy's board he's level 8 fawn. Wow, then the Gallia seems like he does quite a lot of damage now. The one thing was 7. Holy moly. If they start on list is worth it. Oh, I think it's worth it for sure. But the problem is I might not hate because this guy wants lists, this guy's holding lists, this guy has lists. It just might be too thing is I might as well. I'm rolling down next round anyways, right? So if I don't hit, it's fine.
Ionia speaks through me.
I am Duncan. Your gods fear me.
I may be merciful.
I don't really want to go Terra 3. Do I? Nah, not really.
I will restore Freljord's greatness.
Holy moly. This. Yeah, I feel this thing.
I may be merciful, but Targon isn't. The shadows.
Wow. Okay, I like it. I'm gonna hit Aphelios 3. That guy's kind of spooky. Oh, hit Aphelios 3. That is unfortunate. I think I low rolled matchmaking because then he hit it last stage. It's very unlucky.
I will restore Freljord's greatness.
Shit.
Feel the power of true honor.
Up smells. Well, back for 13 months. Thanks for resubbing. He's dead. Sucks I didn't hit playing the comp, but it's alright. I got fit. Oh, I'm gonna go play some ads. Oh, I don't know if I want to play Earth here. Let me think. I was gonna try Bard. Yi. Maybe I'll play some Poro. You said if I let it open at 40. It's gonna be me. Oh yeah, someone talked about going Lysandra 3 over Taric 3. I think Lysandra's always better there. And it's like pretty, I don't know, pretty hard to argue. You're not stacking Taric with any tank items. Lysandra's getting fucking TG. I don't know. Seems pretty obvious.
No getting through me. All that I do. Ooh, a Jace.
Carnage.
I can make 10 here for sure, but do I want to sell Jace? I feel like you're supposed to be open to the idea of... Like, I very rarely get to open Piltover, so I might as well try for it here. He missed. Oh, I still made 10 here, damn. Okay.
Guess we're fighting. This is very exciting.
Okay, so now I have two Piltover. I would say, generally speaking, from this position, it looks not bad. It means I'm not hitting 20 here, but that's okay.
So strange. We scream.
Thought about pre-leveling, but I don't know, man. This seems okay. My augments all suck ass.
Watch this.
I will restore Freljord's greatness.
Do I ever just slam this here and go for Rage Blade? Honestly, slamming items when you go in Piltover seems kind of bad. Or trying to go Piltover. I need a Zon to see exactly what I'm getting. Piltover, Last Whisper. That's fine, I can just make Last Whisper. Alright, what do I got? Riftwalk, Hunter. I won. Fuck. Wait, did I win? Actually, this Warwick unit is pretty not balanced. Alright, it's not that good. I bet playing Piltover is so hard nowadays because everyone just full opens. It's like you're never able to get that streak, you know? Dude, do I just not play Piltover? I think the last stage you can play Piltover is probably this. Like I have to get it off the carousel or this roll.
Victory awaits.
I was thinking about selling Jinx, but she's kind of important in my comp. I got one right, yes. Converted to playing open 4E, taking triple combat. I think Tom Kench Open sounds interesting. Pre-level again. Oh, I don't know about that. That one seems a little... Ooh. I really want this, though. Okay, this one's... but I don't think I'm getting this, right? Because it's like such a good item. It's on... Don't know what I'm doing with this, but I'll figure something out. Noxus Sword Challenger. Actually, I feel like Piltover doesn't really have spat options that aren't fun. There's these Juggernauts fine. Oh, it's saved.
This is very exciting.
Got Zeri already? That's not good. Is that Cypress Focus Zeri? Or that's Mirror Zeri? Wow. Well, I sacked it around successfully here. It's really good. Damn, it sucks I have someone going Zeri and I already hit. And you already know they're gonna commit into Zeri. There's 300 streakers in this lobby. That is not good. This is very much not good. Do I even buy this? The answer is no. Jason's such an interesting unit. I don't know, man. I am of the opinion no unit should start with 120 out of 20. Mana. Like, I'd rather you just nerf the attack speed or damage he deals and make him start with more. Because having him have so little mana feels so like that he's just not a unit. Alright. Oh, I'm not spooked. What am I saying? Yeah, I think they should redo Jace. Like I think he's much more interesting a unit if you start with 80 mana and then have him, like, I don't know. This is weird. Miss Jace 2.
So strange. They scream.
Zonyan is good. They're all kind of good. The build strategies are not clear at all. I would say, I don't know. I'd say they're pretty clear. I'm not gonna level here, mainly because I need to see if I can get level up here. I'm playing Poro, right? So I get like all kinds of random shit. Although Jinx 2 is kind of spooky. Jinx 2 kind of does a lot of damage. I'm like trying not to slam shit. Yeah, I don't want to use this yet. Let's reroll this.
Darkness gathers on the Isles from every depth.
Are people strong enough yet? Can I actually like stack my units or? Like, can I stack my units yet, or how we feeling? I feel like we're feeling okay. How am I doing? I'm doing good. I think I would have killed something if I slammed here. Slam this, slam this, slam this.
Demacia, now and forever.
Cool. Okay. Oh, this is the only guy I might be able to beat. I'm hoping not, though. He has fully upgraded this. Nah, there's no way. Nah, there's no way. Right? Right, there's no way, there's no way. Even though it's World War I. It's pretty good. Only 70 gold? There's no difference between 70 gold and 50 gold right now. No fawn. No way. Probably should take Juggernaut's back here. How am I doing? Ugh. Well, this game is not looking good. It's not looking pretty, this game. I'm thinking I'm about to get fucking rolled here. It's a gap.
Dawn is the future.
Do I really slam this? I mean, it's not bad. It's just like not having Last Whisper kind of bleh. It's fine. Do I roll at 7 this game? I mean, I'm so rich and I have wellness trust, and I need to lose a couple rounds. I'm probably rolling at 8. 4-2. Is that Freljord? Yeah, but it's a little scuffed. But yeah, I probably have to just put in Freljord this game. Oh, 28 is not good. I don't think the attack speed really matters. Yeah, I think this guy's mana is stupid. I think they really should look into this. Ideally, you want 30 lost T-Hex, right? Because you need the breath. Guys, level 720 gold. Oh, that hurts. Let's just heal 2. Let's see if we can get robotic on.
Dawn's with me every fight. This time's no different.
Oh, I need a whole Trist, I think. Oh, fuck me. Oh, that could have been the thing. Oh, it was so juicy there.
I will rule the Freljord.
Yes, I am a weapon.
Holy fuck. There's Robo Arm. I wait 1 rounds. Unless I'm gonna just slam Juggernaut Spat here. Wait. If I win this one, that's actually pretty good. I don't have to worry about winning after 4-2. That's so good. This is so fucked with Jace, man. Gunner Spat is insane here. Son Spat's not bad. What am I missing? I'm missing Vi. Where's my Vi? Oh, that kind of hurts. I need to roll down and ignore this wellness. Dude, I don't want to slam Juggernauts back because I don't think I can play. I don't think I play Warwick this game.
Piltover's finest.
Shurima is not of this time. I bring death.
Watch this.
I will rule the Freljord.
I need the other Jinx. Whoops.
What is strength if you do not use it?
Do I need Heimer though? I don't think I'm playing him. Oh, over Ori. It's fine. I'm playing Vi over Ori, anyways. I'm gonna slam Sunfire here, because in case I get this, you know. No way he wants it, right? Or sorry, I didn't mean. I said do this. I kind of need Heimer. You're right. Heimer's way better than just Bruiser. That's okay. What do I do now? This?
I will restore Freljord's greatness.
I don't want to slam this. I'm hoping I can get something else better here. This unit is random, but it's okay. She's crazy good. I mean, yeah, but he doesn't have Juggernaut, so it feels a little weird.
Piltover's finest. Zon's with me every fight. This time's no different.
Such two. Oh, I think you play for first. Oh, I might have to slam this if I play first place here. Is this guy strong? Okay, I have to slam. This one's a little. It's too good to have Sunfire in this matchup. Oh my god. Was it actually a Sunfire diff? I don't know.
Zon's with me every fight. This time's no different.
Two at Deadeye is completely useless, actually. This guy has a lot of sedges.
The void
void has breached this place.
Battle, yes.
I can heal a little bit now. The problem is I'm never hitting Sedge 2, right? Because this guy has 3 Sedges, and this guy has fucking billion Sedges.
I am Thorn's reckoning.
Watch this.
Do I ever drop this? Sell TX? No. Especially with the extra unit. I don't think so. I don't think I'm desperate enough to roll for Zeri 3 to win. Just because the other Zeri player is still in the game, you know? Maybe if I had a PvE round so I can time it all.
No, dance with me every fight. This time, no different.
Who needs a beat down?
Shurima is not of this time.
Went all in once I saw the Zeris. No way it cuts the back line here. Nice positioning. It's still alive, right? Damn, I wanted that. I don't know. Probably this. Oh shit, could have made such 2.
I should have left home years ago.
I got 8 sword. Yeah, Zeri baited the roll down. Once I feel like it was so good though. Like, I feel like I still would have done the same thing, you know? Like, whatever happened, I would have done the same thing. For sure.
Teamwork.
Wow, the Rek'Sai.
Dance with me every fight.
This is so stupid.
I am Storm's reckoning.
It's up to me.
You think I'm selling Sedge to give first place a better chance of hitting Sedge 3? Hell no. If you're playing to win out, you never sell Sedge here. That is a dumbass idea. It's one Sedge. Yeah, he needs one Sedge.
I must hurry if I am to win. Yeah! Teamwork!
Dawn is the future.
Battle, yes.
I don't think this is optimal, but the way that Sunfire works on Scion is pretty good. In the sense that Scion usually charges. What is T-Hex worth? 55 gold. But I'm not selling it, so.
Sharika is where all paths converge.
6 Dead Eye. 6 Dead Eye is actually kind of spooky. The line's so good here.
Sharika is where all paths converge. What is strength?
Oh my god, hit 45 T-Hex. Nice. GG. Oh, okay. Winning this was kind of surprising. Oh god, Lee Arrow over 43 months. I got like 7 missions done. Love your box, thank you. I'm gonna play some ads. I was spooked. I wonder if there's something I want. Why doesn't it give tier 3 anymore? Oh yeah, they nerfed it, right? Did they buff Yi? Because, like, it wasn't this before, right? Same as before. Is open for Yi really better than open for Vlad? I think open for Vlad makes a lot more sense. Bouncing back without Vlad health seems a little hard. The 2-1 augment is really good for Zeri, and the 4-2-1 is really good for AP. Oh, the mana one? Oh yeah, the mana one's OP for multicasters. Playable game is like 2 augments 1. Yeah, but coming back with that seems kind of scary. Kind of spooky. What the Yordo Portals game? Or dude, I feel like that no one likes playing the light shield, but it's kind of funny. Like I kind of want to just do it to make people upset. Please, please. Yes. Yes. I'm unsubbing. Shit.
Moxie always rises to the top.
Smile.
I have but one life to give for Ionia. I must make it count.
Evoker opener. Is it good though? What is Endless Hordes now? Is Endless Hordes all your units can only have one item?
Ionia still stands!
Every step, a new journey.
Really? You got this? I have people who don't like it, but I think I got this. Hey, Galio.
Ionia still stands.
I was gonna do blood money and instantly kill myself. So I thought that was a pretty funny idea. What's it do in the back? Ah, AP every couple seconds. Got it. Is this just a multicaster board? I have to make a decision now, pretty much. What are other people playing? I mean, I feel pretty good about this. It's Archangels for the back. They regenerate. Oh, they regenerate so much health. How do you even put this on the front line? Like, how is it humanly possible? Oh, I guess you have to play the boss. That's so funny. The boss plus Crown of Demacia. Pistol like Garen reroll. Okay, is Garen good or like kind of garbage? OP on Cho. Huh.
I will restore Freljord's greatness.
What if I do this? Can we win that? Yeah, 14% max health seems pretty good. I mean, is Set even good? Is my question. Wait, did I not kill a unit? Oh, I killed a stupid unit.
The world may fall to darkness.
I kind of want to play Yordles. Is anyone playing Yordles? Did Triss get nerfed?
I'm going in.
I mean, I'm definitely taking this, right? You can't 3-star him because, yeah, other people take him.
Feel the power of true ice.
I mean, is this not lit? It seems pretty good, right? Dude, honestly, I want to take blood money, sell my whole board, except for... Yeah. But... like, open for blood money seems like it makes a lot of sense, right? Alright, this guy's on someone else's board. Causes some weird stuff. Are we Evoker Opener gamers? I mean, I just had an Evoker Opener, so I felt pretty good about it.
They will go no further.
Does this seem worth it? 3 gold per 10 life? Okay. I agree. Okay, what's the most amount of life you can lose level? Like the 40, you can lose 40 life on average. Fully open, you can almost lose. You can lose a little bit more. What's 40 divided by 3? You get a little bit like 13 gold. That's. You're right. That doesn't seem that good. That's an AFK. That feels not great. I wish you got more gold.
Where there is evil, I shall go.
Maybe even 2 OP because you would just take it every time, right? Can I ever put this on a frontliner? Like I put it on a frontliner and then I give it Zanya's and GA. Yeah, it doesn't. Blood Money does not seem that good. I'm gonna level here if possible.
You always fight so poorly.
Oh, I'm definitely slamming Death Cap somewhere.
I love Demacia.
Oh, thank God.
It's the only place I've
Oh, thank God. Okay, what am I slamming here? It's... I slam Spark and this, and I'm left with these two, right? Okay, I'm not slamming Spark yet because I kind of... I'm gonna wait around. I actually having this is kind of nice. Let me downgrade to the tankiness of my front line, and I'm not okay with that. Kill him. Boom. Woker with Harmless. Is it? Does it work the way I think it does? Because that's kind of good. Damn, 2 healthy seems interesting. Can't do this.
Demacia. It's the only
I'm gonna try
place
something.
I've been.
Oh no. Wait. Hold on. He killed my fucking unit. Yes, you want? Hell yeah. Wait, I didn't even know you could get. Okay. It's three. Okay, so if I just do backline only items, I can't do that.
I'll take care of everything.
Where's his crown? Oh, he fucking took it off for a little bit. Okay. Oh, my front line is actually weak as shit. Um Hmm. Oh. What if I just have no? What if I have no frontline items? Sebastian, hell no.
I may be merciful, but Targon isn't.
The problem is with this comp, this is kind of a weird item. Because you really only can use it for Ships, yes. I guess ship's fine. Oh, I was still level here. Why did I not level? How am I 35 HP? With 2 combat augments. Isn't that kind of weird? Shouldn't this be bad? I guess if I was playing all bruisers, it's okay. No, it's okay. I go to 7, I level, I hit 6 invoker, every fucking unit, Tarek 2, Shen 2, Karma 3, Soraka 3. How is this guy's unit still fucking alive, man? Okay, I'm 26 with a... Okay, that seems bad, but perfect. Okay, now I hit my front line at 23 life. Okay. These are now real units. Like, I have a real front line now. Fuck. Wait, it took too long to get here. Yeah, just give me the... Is there a natural 3? Just give me that.
The Iceborn rule, Freljord.
As Ionia changes, so must I.
Justice will be served.
have to do this. Oh, I hate the transfusion prismatic. Wait, you're right. And then I went out because I have all the extra health. Well, you're a genius. I mean, technically this makes a lot of sense, right? Because I'm healing. Now imagine if I had Invoker instead. I can Invoker this unit.
You should have left home years ago.
I need to get my items off of this fucking unit, man. I lost? I need to get these items off. Oh my god. Can I get like a...
So must I.
Please. I hit 2 1%. Oh my god.
A new journey.
I love Demacia. It's the only place I've been.
All the take items I can slam here are downgrades for my front line. Like, just... Yeah. Oh, I'm dead. Like, there's no way one frontline item is going to be worth more than 2 of these. I would need 2 frontline items to be worth more. Wait. Wait! Yes! The light shield! You're on Soraka. Oh no, you're not gonna do that. Because she's gonna hold my light shield. Okay, no joke. I really don't want to roll, but it's like so bad, man. Oh my god. I have no gold. Honestly, this Shen is probably lit. This Shen is owns. I'm being held hostage, like actually.
Now we prove our purpose.
Oh god, okay. 3 Aries is just, that's just cruel. cruel and unusual. Nah, I win. I went out. These will adopt for Ionians? No, but I don't want to. Well, was fun having my 40 LP, but I'm never doing that again. All right. That all natural thing, not the best. Go play some ads. Real Go Gamer went back for 6-7 months. Yeah, I think you're supposed to play all bruiser frontliner, but also then you can't have any items on your frontliners. So you, I don't know, man.
Demacia, now and forever.
Did we get to try a Dudley food challenge? I got asked to be a part of Blouse, and I said no. I'm not fully recovered health-wise, so I don't want to attempt anything. Until I'm like, I feel like I don't have this fucking cough anymore, I'm probably not gonna do anything.
Anoxian always rises to the top.
Video healthy, it's probably not gonna be popular then. I personally am not very much interested. I mean, I would have done it, but now that it's, I don't know. It would have to be. I would probably say no. Oh, is there a Cho reroll comp now? Can I just reroll for Cho? Well, I'm sure there is. There's got to be one, right? Oh my god, wait. Isn't that an Evoker opener? Oh, well, you know what? I'm not cringe. It's okay. Out of sight, out of minds. So what are BIS items? Probably Bramble Declaw Redemption.
The world may fall to darkness, but Noxus will remain.
Okay. Oh, Juggernaut. That's an. What? The augment's worse than Trade Sector? Yeah, but look at my augment options, man. They're not. None of them were good. You think I can win with spoils when I have fucking nothing and no upgrade units? It's not likely, right?
They will feel pain they've never imagined.
All right, what the fuck is the comp for this, man? I'm gonna see if I can't find some compositions. Play Rex reroll. Aren't these items complete dog shit though? Like I want to go Shiv here. I want to go Declaw. I don't know, man. These items seem so bad. Maybe I. Like, is Mouse 3 good? Got a vacation this summer? Didn't I already just come back from Japan? Cho thinks Sparcho sucks. I have not hidden a single fucking life thing here, which really sucks. It's not good. The decall here. Oh, juicy, juicy, juicy. Yeah, I'm pretty sure Spark is not BIS if you can get any kind of additional items. Cause you're not even gonna be like you want Spark if it's gonna be on a unit where I don't know. It's just like such a dead item on Cho. Like it feels so bad. I would not want it on Cho.
I will tear the world asunder.
Silver tickets. It's pretty dog shit, honestly. It's like this guy's going double trouble. I have gotten no extra life the whole stage. Wow, that's not good. It's very sad. Oh, Milk! Over this stream. You came just in time for me to go 8th here. I'm pretty sure I'm going like hard Giga 8th this game.
Justice will be served.
Wait. Hold up. Yo, Milk, do you know how to reroll, whatchamacallit? This? How committed am I? Oh, I'm committed. I'm going 8th or, yeah, I'm just gonna go 8th. I don't care. Never played. Okay. Please, 1 bite. Yes. Well, I got 1 bite. Who is better? Yeah, I want to make my board weaker. 2 bites. Hell yeah. Fuck, I want it anyways. Whatever, it's fine. I wish that the 6 or the 3 or the 6 void would give shred. I'm not gonna lie. That way I don't have to itemize it for in my fucking void comps. I get splashed easier. I guess it would be too OP if that was the case. Anyways, yeah, welcome to the stream. I'm playing some weird shit. Oh. Oh. Should I felt the buy there? The answer is no, because I skipped all the buys. Surely I'm gonna hit this. Fuck it, whatever, man. I didn't get void. Yeah, at least 6. Even with active? Oh, well, I made a mistake. Fine, I have an idea. Let me... I mean, it's definitely this. But that was kind of interesting. Don't worry, don't worry. I have an idea. Gives you a copy? Oh yeah, I know. I don't care. Like, sure, it gives me copy and it gives me defensive stats, but it's like, I don't think it caps my board high enough for me to be interested in playing it. Because unfortunately, Void doesn't really do shit. It's fine. I cannot believe with Silver Ticket I rolled so hard. I rolled into 20 gold to hit Cho 3 when I had 5 already. That felt really bad. So much center back line. Is it really? Oh, I guess you want the split like this. Okay, that makes sense. Level 7, 3-3. Okay, that's a little unfortunate, but still okay. You need me to do a wellness check on Peter? Is he okay? I heard they're doing that thing. I really go to mouse 3? I mean, I guess there's no harm in it, and I might as well. I mean, I'm gonna try to juice the void, right? I'm pretty sure it's always this, and I either go. Problem is, I don't really want to slam this, but like, what options do I have this game, man? Okay, that's +1, +2. That's +2. Oh, I killed 2 more. Wait, that was a great loss. That's so good. If I get another great loss like that, that'd be awesome.
I may be merciful, but Targon isn't.
Okay, my in-game comp was gonna have this unit, but is that trolling? Nah, it's fine. The redemption healing alone will be decent. Drax, welcome back for 4 months. Solid loss. Oh, hey, what's up, crap? Dude, I need 2 more of those. Wow, this guy he's actually fine. His board is really weak. As long as I can kill this. 1. It's a +1. +2. Loss. Please. There's no ways. Okay. Whatever. +3. Guys, zoom in on his feet. No. No. How many stacks do I have? Kerbal is 595. That's pretty good. Oh no, I missed position. I could have done that. Dude. Like, what if I just have 3 void? Titans. You'd rather do gargoyle. The void feels so weak. Does 6 void feel better? Oh. Think.
I may be merciful.
I love off curve. It's fine. It's not really fine.
The darkness to void.
Wow, he died so fast. Alright, you know what? Fuck that. We're just gonna take the Ari and say fuck it. Slam Gargoyle, sell this, put Ari on the board, play Force Works, and call it a day. Impression of this set, it's better than last set. And that's all you need to know, really. I need to make the 8. I don't know if I can do that. Oh, this guy's board looks hella strong. Uh-oh. Boom. I'm dead. Okay, I played 2 games where I died before stage 5 to try to play perfect stuff. Oh, I'm so sad. Okay, no, you know, it's okay. Don't worry about it. Next game. Next game won't happen. Nicholas Creanly, welcome back for 9 months. Thanks for subbing. Maybe you play Cho you don't really want to avoid. Yeah, it's starting to feel that way. Like, I feel like if I play Cho, I just want to play like 4 Bruiser. Or like... Peace, sick of Reddit. Thanks for sub on the stream. Because these guys have health, right? All right. Okay. Lesson learned. I'm not playing Void with that shit next time because Mouse is not a good unit, and like Vel'Koz is a good unit about multicaster. I'd rather just play Rek'Sai plus whatever carry, and then go 6 Bruiser plus backline. I'm pretty sure you could just go 6 Bruiser plus like Aphelios. That's usually how it works. Rek'Sai Bruiser comp? Yeah, I played that comp like a month ago. Water. I wonder if there's any good one-cost rerolls that aren't Triss left. It doesn't. Like I would like to have like Yordo Portal. I don't know. What am I looking for on? Is it University? Dude, we got Orange Forge over University, man. Okay, whatever. He says Ash combo with the Fearless. Yeah. No, you don't need Shen, Nasus, or Urgot. You just need Sedge, Ash, Aphelios.
Keep your enemies close, and me closer.
I got early karma again. Still make me want to play.
Name's Samira.
I mean, the point of bruisers is already you have a good front line, so you don't need more front line. That's just your entire comp. Okay, let's sell this, and then yeah. Do like something like this, and I'll probably sell this because I don't want to play Karma this game. Noxus game. It's not a bad opener. As long as I hit another Noxus, pretty okay. Noxus Swain reroll. I feel like that unit is not good. Pumping up. This is worse than you would expect from my experience.
The world may fall to darkness, but Noxus will remain.
I don't think I full open. The bigger question is, what do I play with Noxus? This is Cat Darius reroll. That does feel kind of bad.
We are vengeance.
I may be merciful.
This might be better actually. This Solus opener, does he do this a lot? Like for me, I look at this board and I'm just like, I don't really want to play Noxus, but like it feels like the opener is a little too good for Noxus, you know? Anyone else playing Noxus? What? It bugged out? Oh, fuck. That's fine. Let's do this, I guess, for now. guy has fucking Bramble. It's actually one of the worst things you can get.
Witness the strength of Noxus.
I think it's fine. I just set my E and put it to Darius later, right? I mean, look, it's on a it's kind of an underside, but fuck you. Isn't this awful? These are the worst items you can roll for Noxus. Maybe Randuin's is okay. Anima's dog shit. I'll be Cleaver. Fuck, I'm at the level here. It's so bad in level. Shit. Honestly, Anima plus Warmock's pivot is probably the correct call. Like, no joke. That is probably correct.
For me, and me alone.
Name's Samira. Try not to slow me down.
Samira R. Sunders. I mean, this is going on Swain later with this item, by the way. Because it's the only way you can AoE Sunder in this comp, right? Or you can go on Cat, technically, but I don't really like that, so... This guy didn't level to 6 here. This guy's such a greed lord. Especially get someone like me who already has a win streak. Wow. This guy got away with it. Crazy. I mean, technically, I won 4 rounds already, which is really good. Go Nasus eventually? Sure. But it's also just like you probably want to put it on an. You're re-rolling a lot at 7, right? You're probably not going to be able to put it on. I mean, you're going 6 Noxus this game, right? So you probably. Oh, actually, you don't have to go 6 Noxus this game. I guess, in all honesty, you probably shouldn't.
Ionia still stands. There will be peace in the Frail World. I will forge it.
I need more. Honestly, you probably play 6. Oh, this guy level 6. What? I did not expect this. Oh, that's like so bad. I think I already beat Gutso though. I wish I told you who you beat, but it's okay. It's bad. Oh shit.
Dawn is the future.
Name's Samira. Try not to slow me down.
You probably idealism cat and Darius then, and you just go IE this as healing. You don't go BT. Zed would have been good this game though. Would have been lit. Okay. I mean, what do I need for the 6? Cat? Shit, do I roll for 6?
The world may fall to darkness, but not.
I feel like I'm over rolling if I roll one more time here.
I have but one life to give for Ionia. I must make it count.
Yeah, I don't think I roll. Save for 7, yeah. It sucks because I put the bow on her. Usually you want to have all your items on one person, but it's fine. I had double Jarvan ulti, man. Please. Please, man. Those items are not that great. I'm not worried. Three cloaks, no gloves, or one glove, and that sucks. I really need another Hodge here, and I need a whatchamacallit, Titans, but there was no vest here, which kind of sucks.
Just looking for a road home.
This is kind of an interesting item. I feel like it's very good, but like the problem is I don't know how early. Like I need to build Swain 3 then, just so I can fucking get it in time to make my items work. But it's like it's a lot of gold to go for 3 different 3-stars in this comp, especially when you skip 6 this game. You have to go 7. Somebody just hit Yasuo 2 in the lobby. Oh, that's what it is.
Always rises to the top.
I have 5 of the 7, which is pretty good. Leave on Samira and put it behind Darius. No, that sucks, because then you're not hitting Cat. Since she's only single target, I don't think I'd ever do that. I'd rather just have it on this unit if I can make it work. Also, I'm moving this a little bit away because... Holy... This guy is 100 streaking. Oh, with escort quest, he is in such a good spot. Okay.
Always rise.
Ba-ba-ba-da-ba-ba-ba-ba.
The world may fall to darkness, but not
I think because I have to play 6 Noxus. I've I think I do hold this, right?
where all paths converge.
So you eventually go this, 6 Noxus, and 3.
I win.
Those good. Those seems okay.
I may be merciful,
This.
hard on isn't.
Blood for Noxus.
The thing is, I just need to hit Darius 3 or Darius 2 Cat 2. I probably just need to dig. It's gonna be a digging time.
Noxus will rise.
Oh shit.
But Noxus will remain. Noxus will rise.
Do this or this. I'm gonna try it this way then. Oh, it doesn't reset on Scion? That was kind of unlucky. Okay. I mean, this looks pretty good, right? But unfortunately it's also like a weird situation where I still don't roll because I'm kind of stable and I need to wait. But now I'm in a weird situation with my items where I'm gonna get Hodge for another idealism here, and then but then my items are fucked. Like I don't really know how to do this. I mean, luckily I have Pump It Up. It's 24% attack speed, pretty good. The Nasus does more 2-star Darius. Yeah, don't worry, don't worry. He got unlucky with his resets, that's all. Sometimes you just have bad fights with Darius because, you know, yeah, like it's not like he got a failed reset on a unit, and that'll happen, you know. Yeah, I guess you go Gunblade and then Gunblade Spark. I can definitely do. Spark is kind of a dead item with this. I'm one step at a time. One step. I want this, but I'm second. I'm last pick, so I'm not getting this. What else do I want? I'm down for. I think you can use infinite rods in this comp, so I'm down for this. Okay, cool. No problem. I think Spark when you already have this item is kind of a Waste.
This land was made for me, and me alone.
Is that Yasuo too? Is that Yasuo 2 Kaisa 2 with idealism? Is that 5 Yasuos? Interesting.
This land was made for me, and me alone.
Shurima is where all paths converge.
For Nasus 2, yep. But like I don't want to overroll. I could technically sell these, I guess. Rolls are doing great. Reminder that one of the biggest things about Nasus is that he gets one more target for his steal, which is nice. Also, it kind of sucks that God, Darius is getting owned sometimes, man. This guy's still 100 streaking. He has unified resistance. Oh, this guy's getting first in the lobby. 150, 50, 50. So he's level 8. Okay. You roll a 7. I mean, yeah, you always roll a 7.
Shurima is never lost.
You know, I heard this unit's pretty good now, and I can Noxus this unit at 8, but I'm probably not gonna do that. Damn, I hit a Zir too. Usually you decide between Noxing a Zir or Nasus, depending on how your items and your position look. And like I had Warmogs, the other items, so I'm like, oh well, it's definitely not like the other unit, but came into looking like a little weird. Do I really go for Kled? Like, I don't think so. I'm down to go for this one because it's so close. Kled seems a little. I'm a Kled hater. And we pause. How do I want to do this? This is Gunblade. Oh, I'm definitely waiting now. Spark Cat, I'm good. For this. I wonder if I ever... Does Darius have AP scaling? Like good AP scaling? 120%. That's not terrible. The biggest problem with being a 100 streaker in the lobby is I can't get my last Noxus stack, right? Because I'm dependent on that guy dying. But like, I have 6 of 7, and I know where the 7th stack is, right? Because it's just like, I see him NASA 6 targets. Hell no, it's just duration. Yeah, I'm really strong. Pretty sure you just do this. Like, like you would save for something, but if you look at the items, it's really fucking sketch. Saving here seems like such a grief. I didn't like Shojin Azir here because I didn't give him Noxus spat, so he doesn't really super scale with this comp. My biggest problem is I think I have to go 8 here. I have nothing to reroll for it too. Like, aside from obviously the Darius, but like everything else is really bad. Sure. Zephyr's pretty good. I can't go anywhere between top 3 here because like the lobby is just kind of built that way. I wonder if he scales at AP. Oh no, it's just 3. Double sniper's focus. Blue buff? Holy shit. Oh, he almost killed Cat there. That's not good. How am I frozen? Is that Rise? Oh, that's... Wait, that looks broken. Best Rise. It sucks that 2 people took Zephyrs. Do I win this? Damn.
Blood for Noxus.
I'm thinking if I'm on a level or not. I think if I play for top 2, I don't level. But if I at 8, you're supposed to go. I'm still go for Nasus. Not. AP doesn't matter. It'd just be Rise here.
Noxian always rises to the top.
Shurima is not of this time. Noxus will rise. Noxus will rise.
I sound rude. It's because I've got a world to say.
This Scion unit is cucks me so hard, man.
A Noxian always rises to the top.
Let's dance.
It's just Scion. Like, he has Scion too. Is so hard to beat. I don't think I can win this lobby. Like, I just beat the first place player on Ghost Board, but it doesn't matter because the Scion 2 is such a like impossible unit for me to beat, I guess. Oh, I should have taken hot shit for Azir. I forgot idealism. Whoops. I mean, I'm probably... Do I hit cat in this amount of gold? Probably not.
This land was made for me, and me alone.
Nope. I don't think it really matters if my Darius starts later. Might be better for my comp. How much gold? He has 0. He's zeroed out. Dead here? Hoping for cat shot. Oh. I'm trying to get the sedge out of the way first. Ghost Board. I think I went off just...
A Noxian always rises to the top.
I actually think this rise sucks because you're not really getting permafrost, right? Like, you want to play when you have sedge on your board, to really make it make sense. Is that what it works? This is such a bait. No way I hit that with the gold I have left.
For great science, blood for nothing.
Really good Darius position here. Oh, now it gets a little. No, it's still great. Still great. Still great. I think. I think I win this.
To the dust. For Piltover.
There's 2 catchy sunrise here. Probably should have found them. It didn't move in time. That is tragic. That is very tragic. Oh no. I was trying to get the Zephyr up here to get Zephyr. It's okay. They didn't kill there? That's crazy. Oh, he has Aatrox too. Look at it. Peace Sycophret takes us up on this stream. Yeah, I think I take third there. It's not a big deal. I'm gonna go pee real quick actually and get some more water because I'm parched. I'm a thirsty boy. You know, we're gonna put that away, okay? I need water. Hello, hello, hello. I don't like this. Level up faster. What does that mean? It's less. Is it less experience? Is that better for ASOL players? Let's do Anvil. Oh yeah, how is Eat Herbs? Is it good? Okay, maybe that's a bait. Let me go see who's streaming it. Hold on. I think I'll only play that game if like someone I know is playing. I've been meaning. I told someone I would play that game when it came out. Oh, there are people playing. Oh, it's 2 Kleds. Oh, and is it Kled time? Has anyone? Is Kled a carry? Is it? Can I carry with this unit? Is he, or is he just complete dog shit? Because I kind of want to try. Okay, wait, what? Like, if I got 3 radiant items and the rest of the players AFK'd, I could win, right?
Keep your enemies close and me closer.
Someone said no. Come on, man. It's not that bad.
Where there is evil,
Okay. I really don't want to play Noxus again, but I have like all of this is Noxus, right? I would say let's just not play Noxus. I'm not really interested. I just hold the Gallia pair here and see what happens.
A cannonball is the best icebreaker.
Medium and shopping. Gosh. Someone said this was pretty good right now. It's busted. All right.
Darkness gathers on the others from every depth.
It's OP roll A get an Ari and win. What
I have done cannot be undone.
Is Ari just what is the best comp in the game right now? Is it just legendaries with Ari? Like, because Ari Aatrox are really good now, right? Ari's best 5 cost in the game.
I'm going in.
This is very exciting.
Guess we're fighting.
Six Stork Ari. Ari that one does more damage than most. 4 cost 2 stars with items. Well, I mean they did the dangerous thing, right? Which was they buffed the wind up time for Ari. She was already being played last patch, and then they tremendously buffed her wind up time. Like that was the thing that made her like somewhat bad.
New unit hitting the bench.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Do I ever sell Galio pair here? I mean, I guess it's not that.
This world is frayed and in need of mending.
Oh, what the heck? Wait. Isn't it just OP for leveling costs 3 less? What the heck? This guy's level 5 with 10 gold. I'm also level 5 with 10 gold, but yeah, you know, okay. She wasn't very good. I mean, Ari 2 was very good. Really want this, but it's probably impossible, right? Do I really want to just slip? Sure. I mean, if I'm going fast 8, it's whatever. Fast 9 Ari lottery. Uh-oh. I got Robo Arm. It's Augment. It's the best one. I got Robo Arm. Medium and shopping? Yeah, I know. I'm rolling on 8.
I will restore Freljord's greatness.
Level 520? I feel like I'm poor. I'm heckin' poor. 12th level? Okay. Thank God he did not die on this. Is that cat 2? Uh-oh. 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 Legitimate? Welcome back for 36 months. It's not that good for Acel. Maybe Acel just wants more gold.
fall to darkness, but Noxus will remain.
Demacia is my home, but I'll never forget Ionia.
I mean, do I just sell these? These gotta be good, right? Even without bows, it's still good, right? I mean, do I not just buy this Invoker and just sell these? And nah, I'm pretty sure the Zeri with Robo Arm still fucks. I think it's this. I'm just looking to burn as little XP as possible. 12. Next round's probably 8. Okay. Okay, I don't have a lot of items. Okay, let's just start with this. Whatever. Wow, Zeri's so strong, man. I'm playing her with a fucking 1 AP item, 0 attack speed, but Robo Arm just makes me win. I can't believe I won this round. I think I hold the Bruiser in case I mean,
I will restore Freljord's greatness.
I almost want to just run 3. Like,
I may be merciful, but Targon isn't.
this is better for sure. Okay. We do this, and I make the pivot to 6 Sorks later, so I just hold on to these, I guess. Zeri Ferro is really strong. Cool. Why do I feel like I don't have items? Oh! Wow, what a good round. You'll need the mages? Alright, I'm down. No, I didn't fucking sell the last one. How am I down items? 1, 2. How many do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? That 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6? How am I down items? What? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6? Tarek, Shen, Karma, and legendaries. Oh, to get Ionia? Interesting. Okay. Oh, by the way, I took this for fun. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing this. I guess by Aatrox. I'm playing full legendary. You took it like you had a plan. Oh, I mean, I can just make, like your board. You can always make Juggernaut spat or I guess in this case Ionia spat. There's no way this Zeri is this good. Oh my god. I'm winning with, or I'm like killing so many units with such an illegal board, man. Such an illegal board. Oh yeah, I'm hoping for another spat. So the F tier? No, I just thought she'd do worse. But I mean, Robo-Arm is her best augment, so. There is a really good unit right now. Wow, this guy's kind of strong for 3-6. It's fully upgraded board. Everything but Swain. This guy's really strong for 3-6. This is my worst loss this round, man. I feel like I'm 8 on... I feel like I'm 8 on 4-5, but... Let's see.
Piltover's finest.
I mean, okay, it's 40 to level to 8. Yeah, I'm definitely just going 8. Oh, god damn. I need so much gold though. I would say I need to go at 4-5 if possible.
Yeah! Teamwork! The void has breached this place.
Yeah, spat for free. I think I wait 1 round because I want to see what I get. I don't think I play this. Yeah. I mean, I'm trying to see if I can grab something like fun. Also, Juggernaut spat's really not that bad. You can like being able to play. Nasus is a great unit, and then I mean you're gonna play Aatrox in your final board. Pretty sure I hold like almost every unit of the game. I need so much gold actually to play this legendaries, man. Wow. Great fucking loss. Shen Karma. So you hold Ionia spat. Yeah, I mean I'm playing Shen every game, board game ever, right? Not this, not this. If I could get Freljord, I'd probably be pretty happy with that. Freljord component ammo? Or it's AP. AP is also really good. Probably just this for...
Just looking for a road home.
Everyone's going fast 9 here. Look at look at this guy's board. It's complete trash. Like mine. Oh, that's right. He has an Ari. Wait, where'd he get that from? Wait, that's cheating. Oh, my board is definitely a lot worse than this guy's. Almost I need tiers. Complete trash takes 15. I mean, it's garbage. Mine's just worse.
Shadows. Just looking for a road home.
I've never played this. I mean, honestly, let's be real. I'm not playing those either. Probably not playing this. I guess I can hold on to it. Not playing this. Oh, I have fallen off. I'm taking 15 here again. It's okay. Let me explain to you how this is gonna work. I'm gonna get a spatula off carousel, 2 tiers off the PvE round, 3 Aries next round. I'm good to go. Okay. Step 1, complete.
Scott's with me every fight. This time's no different. I must hurry if I am to win.
I mean, I don't really think I want to play this, right? Okay, I'll play for now.
My room Terra will be beautiful.
I will restore Freljord's greatness.
For great science.
Oh, I forgot to fucking make this. Hold up a sec. It'd probably be nice to make the actual fucking font. I actually won this. Wow, crazy.
Shurima is not of this time.
I didn't hit. What board is this? Oh, this is the worst one, right? It's got 4 turret augments. I mean, I'm open selling Zeri Jinx next round, so I would say it's possible. You're probably right.
From the shadows.
Probably not playing this, right?
Yes.
I sound rude. It's because I've got a world to save.
Dude, even fucking make this? Sure.
The void ground or
One tier, two tiers? Two tiers, two tiers? Fuck.
I should have left home years
I have the
ago.
karma. Oh, fuck. What do I sell? Guess this is gone.
As Ionia changes, so must I.
What the fuck, man?
One can only hold all this power for so long.
As Ionia changes,
So I'm playing 4 Invoker, 2 Sork, Belveth. Never seen this comp before in my life, sure. I feel like my only job this game was to hit RE2, and I whiffed. Yeah, like I got such a bad rise board that it's like really awful.
For great science!
Okay, hello? What is this? Oh, this could just be turned off. Hello? I can't even hear the sound in game. The sound is just dead? Is it fucked? Can you guys hear the sound in game? Oh, I can't hear the sound at all. I'm dead. Cool.